The aftermath of the cataclysmic battle settled into a grim, exhausted silence, broken only by the return of Dian Junwoo and his Jiangnan investigation team. The 7 men emerged from the subway tunnels, their usual composure shattered. They were disheveled and bloodied, bearing the clear marks of a brutal fight. Bailey Changqing supported a pale and weakened Wu Di, while Kong Sheng sported a seriously injured, pretzel-twisted arm swathed in bandages. Despite their wounds, their relaxed smiles signaled a hard-won success. Dian Junwo confirmed to Zhang Yi and the gathered survivors that they had eliminated all 5 zombie kings, their corpses stored in their vehicle. This news brought a profound, collective sigh of relief. Without the king's coordinated command, the remaining zombies in Tianhai City would revert to a disorganized, instinct-driven mob, a far more manageable threat. Zhang Yi, seizing a moment of pragmatic diplomacy, retrieved several portions of supernatural food from his storage and offered them to Dian Junwo, explaining their restorative properties for abilities, strength, and mental state. Dian Junwo accepted with a faint, ugly smile, remarking on Zhang Yi's valuable support-type ability before he and his team retreated to their snowmobile to recover. With the immediate existential threat neutralized, the shattered coalition was forced to confront the scale of their losses. The survivors, utterly spent, could do little more than rest. The decision was made to remain at the devastated snow worship cult camp, as moving the numerous wounded was impossible. Zhang Yi's team, having emerged virtually unscathed, became the de facto strongest remaining force. At Dian Junwo's urging, Zhang Yi agreed to stay and provide protection, suppressing his own desire to return to the safety and comfort of his shelter. His team took on the task of clearing the scattered zombie hordes around the camp, a relatively easy job, as the disorganized groups of a few thousand posed little challenge to coordinated superhumans. Over the following days, the zombie problem visibly diminished, allowing for a slow, methodical cleanup. Dian Junwo's team remained to observe, ensuring no large-scale horde would re-emerge before they returned to Jiangnan to report. In the wake of shared devastation, the dynamics between Tianhai City's major powers underwent a profound shift. Each faction had lost over 80% of its core fighters, rendering the term major force almost ironic. The indiscriminate zombie assault had leveled the playing field, erasing past tensions and fostering a grim, mutual respect born of shared survival. Zhang Yi, whose team had suffered negligible losses and retained formidable strength, found himself the recipient of newfound goodwill. Xiao Honglian of Yangsheng Base was the first to formally bridge the gap. She approached Zhang Yi, her demeanor graceful yet resolute, and extended her hand in friendship. Zhang Yi, although we've had some unpleasant experiences in the past, Tianhai City is now in ruins, she said, proposing an end to conflict. Zhang Yi, a self-professed peace lover, shook her hand readily, expressing his admiration for her leadership. His curiosity piqued, he asked about her background. Xiao Honglian revealed she had been a police superintendent in the Tianhai City Criminal Investigation Team before the apocalypse, a fact that explained her formidable capability. Zhang Yi laughed, calling her a true heroine, and mused aloud that she must have had access to everyone's information. She confirmed this with a smile, noting it only applied to the world before everything ended. After Xiao Honglian's departure, Wei Dinghai arrived to see Zhang Yi. The middle-aged, worldly-wise leader of Chaoyu Base offered enthusiastic praise, calling Zhang Yi young and promising. He extended a warm invitation for Zhang Yi to go to sea with him, suggesting a voyage overseas to see the world. Zhang Yi felt a flicker of longing at the thought of the vast ocean but quickly dismissed it, considering the potentially even more dangerous creatures lurking beneath the waves. He instead made a practical request for Wei Dinghai to bring him some ribbonfish on his next return. Wei Dinghai laughed heartily and agreed, noting that only deep-sea fish could survive now and even those would die once caught. When Zhang Yi questioned how easy it would be to sail after suffering so many losses, Wei Dinghai's smile faded slightly. He sighed softly, stating that while most combat personnel were dead, he still had staff on board and could still sail. He echoed Xiao Honglian's sentiment about Tianhai City being scarred and deathly silent, its population of over 20 million now a ghost of itself. With everyone exhausted and resources plentiful due to the reduced population, the desire for conflict had diminished. Zhang Yixian and Xing Tian came next. The high priest's face was etched with deep sorrow, as the Baixue sect had suffered the most devastating losses in the battle. Of their more than 5,000 people, over 4,000 had died, with survivors estimated at no more than 800, a tragedy that drew sympathy from the other factions. Xing Tian, leveraging his old classmate relationship, immediately put his arm around Zhang Yi's shoulder. He grinned, declaring that Zhang Yi's family was now the strongest force in Tianhai City and jokingly asked for protection. He pointed out that his Xingtian Legion had only lost about half its number, as his unique ability to empower ordinary soldiers into super warriors had preserved their vigor. Zhang Yi rolled his eyes in annoyance and warned Xing Tian not to be overly optimistic, insisting the zombie crisis in Tianhai City was not over. Xing Tian cheerfully dismissed the concern, stating that with the zombie kings dealt with, the remaining zombies posed no threat. Zhang Yi sneered in response, advising Xing Tian not to think so simply, as nobody could know for sure if the battle had attracted all the zombie kings. When Xing Tian countered that any surviving kings would attack while they were weak, Zhang Yi frowned slightly. He admitted he wasn't sure if his thoughts were correct, but he always preferred to think the worst, believing pessimists were less likely to make mistakes. He urged Xing Tian to be careful, to which Xing Tian nodded, though whether he truly took it to heart was unknown. The atmosphere among the factions had become more harmonious after the shared devastation, as if the zombie attack had temporarily erased their conflicts. Yet, a lingering sense of gloom remained in Zhang Yi's heart as he observed the pitiful scene of Baishu occult corpses strewn across the land. He silently called Zhou Kor over, asking her to get in his vehicle with him as he had something very important to do. Seeing his serious expression, Zhou Kor blushed slightly, smoothing her hair as she nodded gently and got into the car first, under a momentary romantic misunderstanding. Zhang Yi then instructed Su Pingzi, Liang Yu, and Uncle Yu to stand guard and not let anyone who came looking for him get close. Su Pingzi fawningly agreed, while Liang Yu turned her head with a cold snort, clearly uncomfortable with the task. Uncle Yu chuckled easily, remarking that Zhang Yi was young and had plenty of energy, sighing almost imperceptibly as he wished Zhou Haimei were there. Inside the soundproof vehicle, Zhang Yi found Zhou Kor had already taken off her coat and was sitting gracefully on the bed, her legs casually crossed and her eyes full of allure as she looked at him. However, Zhang Yi simply plopped down beside her, his demeanor entirely serious. Zhou Kor looked at him in surprise, realizing her misunderstanding, and a hint of embarrassment flashed across her face as she asked what the problem was. Zhang Yi stated seriously that it was about the time he had asked her to observe Yuan Kongya closely. He narrowed his eyes, recalling the events of the night the zombie horde attacked. He reflected that everyone had been too tense that day, their nerves on edge with no time to think. But now, in retrospect, many things seemed illogical. Specifically, he focused on Yuan Kongya's ice attribute abilities. According to his understanding, Yuan Kongya, as the former leader of the snow worship cult, relied on two known abilities, which allowed her to condense ice essence to help others awaken or enhance supernatural abilities, and which allowed her to heal physical injuries. He considered it not uncommon for someone to possess two abilities, especially if both were amplifying or supportive. Yet, the potent ice attribute ability she had displayed that night was completely different from both, and a discrepancy that planted deep doubts in Zhang Yi's mind. Zhang Yi, having witnessed the formidable ice-based combat power Yuan Kongya displayed during the battle, summoned Zhou Kor for a private discussion to voice his deepening suspicions. He pressed Zhou Kor to recall every detail of her interactions with the sect leader, especially during the attack on the cathedral. Zhou Kor confirmed that Yuan Kongya had indeed offered to awaken her supernatural abilities, and offered Zhou Kor wisely declined on Zhang Yi's earlier advice. More crucially, Zhou Kor provided a vivid description of the combat incident. Seated in the front row, she saw Yuan Kongya react with impossible speed, lifting a hand to instantly freeze two powerful bronze-armored flying corpses mid-air before swatting them away with terrifying physical force, shattering the church doors. As Zhang Yi listened, a chilling realization dawned upon him. The ice attribute offensive power, the enhanced reaction speed, and the physical strength did not align with Yuan Kongya's publicly known supportive abilities of End. This meant she possessed at least 4 distinct superhuman abilities simultaneously. Connecting this to the snow worship cult's generous distribution of ice souls to potential superhumans across Tianhai City, Zhang Yi pieced together a horrifying theory. He deduced that Yuan Kongya's true core ability was not blessing but return by death. This meant any superhuman who awakened their power using an ice soul would, upon their death, have that ability reclaimed and absorbed by Yuan Kongya herself, enhancing her own strength. This explained the empty superhuman shells he had seen on past battlefields and how she could amass such diverse and potent powers. The conjecture spiraled into an even more terrifying possibility in Zhang Yi's mind. Could Yuan Kongya be the hidden mastermind orchestrating the zombie outbreaks that have devastated Tianhai City? The scale of the horror made his legs tremble with tension. Yet, he forced himself to scrutinize the theory. Major inconsistencies gave him pause. If the cult could control the zombie hordes, why would they tolerate being suppressed by other factions and suffer catastrophic losses, with thousands of their own believers dead? What possible motive could a religious leader have for destroying her own sect's foundation? Zhang Yi, overwhelmed and confused, muttered to himself, hoping he was merely overthinking. He looked at Zhou Kor's concerned face and decided to keep his terrifying guess entirely to himself. He offered no explanation, only reiterating a stern warning for her to never approach Yuan Kongye, fearing that if his speculation were true and discovered, he would face an unimaginably powerful and demonic enemy. After concluding his private talk with Jokur, Zhang Yi stepped out of the vehicle, his gaze fixed on the stark white Gothic cathedral as a torrent of conflicting thoughts swirled in his mind. He meticulously dissected his own terrifying conjecture about Yuan Kongye, searching for logical consistency. If the Baishu sect truly possessed the power to command the zombie legions, he reasoned, there would have been no need for them to wait until this moment of crisis to act. Furthermore, if Yuan Kongye was indeed the sinister mastermind, she could have easily exploited the coalition's vulnerabilities and eliminated everyone during the tense negotiations a few nights prior. These glaring inconsistencies plagued him. The cult seemingly lacked both the means and a coherent motive for such grand manipulation. His suspicion, he had to admit, was rooted almost entirely in the alarming array of supernatural abilities she had displayed. With a heavy sigh, he resolved to continue his investigation in absolute secrecy, determined to uncover the truth without alerting his formidable potential enemy. His internal turmoil was interrupted by the sound of violent, racking coughs. Looking up, Zhang Yi saw Bian Junwo, the captain of the Jiangnan investigation team, hunched over with a white handkerchief pressed to his mouth, surrounded by his concerned subordinates, Wu Di, Bailey Changqing, and others who watched with palpable anxiety. Zhang Yi's brow furrowed slightly. The man was clearly in dire straits, his condition undoubtedly worsened by the immense strain of the recent decapitation strike against the zombie kings. Approaching the group, Zhang Yi noted the mixed reactions his presence elicited. Most team members regarded him with a measure of friendliness, a respect earned through his actions, and Bian Junwo's expressed intent to recruit him. Only Wu Di maintained a consistently hostile glare, a sentiment whose origin remained a mystery to Zhang Yi, who preferred to avoid unnecessary conflict. "Captain Bian, how are you feeling?" Zhang Yi asked with genuine concern as he drew near. Bian Junwo lowered the handkerchief, revealing dark bloodstains, yet his demeanor was eerily calm. "Same as always, I won't live more than a few days," he stated flatly, having long made peace with his fate. Wu Di urgently pleaded for him to return to Blizzard City for treatment, but Bian Junwo dismissed the notion, understanding the irreversible toll his Delta-level mutations had taken. He then turned the conversation to Zhang Yi's future, informing him that after a final sweep to confirm the eradication of the Corpse Kings, the team would depart. "Tianhai City is riddled with holes now," Bian Junwo observed, offering a faint smile. "Do you want to consider coming back with us? Not just you, your friends can too." Zhang Yi politely declined the immediate invitation, citing his attachments to his hometown and the people there, though he left the door open for the future. Wu Di snorted in derision at his refusal, but Zhang Yi ignored the provocation. The tension escalated when Wu Di suddenly stepped forward, his eyes locked on Zhang Yi with clear. "Hey, Zhang. I heard you're very skilled, one of the top experts in Tianhai City. Want to spar with me?" The challenge hung in the air, and all eyes turned to Zhang Yi, including Bian Junwo's, who watched silently, keenly interested in his response. Without a moment's hesitation, Zhang Yi raised his hands in a gesture of surrender, a disarmingly brazen smile on his face. "Brother, spare me. I'm not good at fighting. My only skills are sniping and facilitating the transport of supplies," he declared. "You're an elite from Blizzard City. You challenge me to a fight? Isn't that bullying me? I surrender, okay? I surrender." He openly admitted his cowardice in the face of a pointless conflict, refusing to be baited into a fight that offered him no benefit and only potential risk. Before a flabbergasted and furious Wu Di could retort, Zhang Yi offered a few more self-deprecating remarks and swiftly made his exit. Left behind, Wu Di trembled with anger, complaining to Bian Junwo about Zhang Yi's lack of spine. In response, both Bailey Changqing and Bian Junwo himself laughed. The captain looked meaningfully at his hot-headed subordinate and said, "That's precisely why I have high hopes for him. If everyone in the investigation team were like you, it would be terrible."